Hey, okay, guys and gals, Jim back here with another one of my finished up dioramas that I've been putting off for so long. And this is my take. There was one real short scene uh, of the Battle of Crait, and I wanted to do a little diorama of that. And rather than just doing one of the AT-M6s, since they're so inexpensive, I wanted to do something a little bit more interesting. Instead of putting one or a couple on a little base and calling it done deal, I wanted to do a little scene with that, kind of depicting something from the movie. This is my take on it. So I did three of them. I know I showed a while back, how I painted up the different panels with different shades of grays and stuff. I did washes on them and all that. I got the little windows in there and the heads painted up with the red. Too bad you couldn't put a little LED or a piece of fiber in there, running LED through them, and then lighten those up. But you can the little red painted up windows is noticeable enough. And I didn't do no real heavy weathering as far as washes or nothing. Or I did a wash, but I didn't do no like rust or nothing, because these are so small, and to try to keep things in scale, you wouldn't barely notice it. In the movie, I didn't really notice a lot of rust streaks and real heavy weathering on these, so I just went with the way I did them when I showed them originally and stuff. But I kind of posed each one. The legs, they don't articulate other than at the shoulders, so I kind of just moved each leg in a different position on the three of them to give it a little bit like they're in motion and stuff, all taking different steps at one time and stuff. And so anyway, let's get on with this. You're gonna notice a lot of lines scratched in there and stuff. If you ever saw like the Utah Salt Flats, other than where they do the land speed record racing, but being it's a dry, real dry, hot area, or even sometimes you see it in deserts on big flat areas where everything gets so dry and parched it starts getting cracks in it. So what I did, when I make my bases for my models, and I did this one the same way, I only altered one thing on it, but that's a base I'm using for my backdrop there to kind of make the models pop a little bit. I buy the select pine boards at Menards. They don't have no knots. They run nice and straight. I get the 1x2s. They're nice for the framework and everything. And then I buy the sheets of hobby plywood. You can get them at Menards too. You can get them as large as 2 foot by 4 foot. No, 1 foot by 2 foot. You can get 1 by 12, 12 by 12. You can get 6 inches by 12 inches. I think you can get a little bit narrowed down to 4 or 3 inches. And they come in different thicknesses. I usually use either the 1/8 inch or the 1/4 inch, depending on what I'm doing, and all that. But they're very inexpensive. They're nicely finished, nice and smooth. You don't have no knots and everything like that, but they're real nice, and they're lightweight pieces. It's cheaper than buying a big sheet of plywood and having to cut your pieces and stuff. And sometimes I trim them down depending on what size I want my base to be. But normally I just use the sizes that I bought them at and everything, and that's it. But that's a base for a project I got that I'm working on at as we speak, between these videos. But anyway, what I did, I made my frame, and then when I do my underside of the frame, I buy they sell them, they're poplar, they're square dowels. They're like different sizes. These are 5/8, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 3/4. I use that for my to glue my plywood down on, and kind of like a lip. And then I brace the corners. I just glue everything together with, tight bond wood glue. It's nice and strong. It'll never come apart and everything. But anyway, I mark what my dioramas are on the bottom. But anyway, what I did was I put the plywood, instead of making it even with the framework like on that one I got from my background, I pretty much sunk it down about 3/8 of an inch. And then I poured a layer of plaster in there. And that I taped off. I taped masking tape so I wouldn't get nothing on my painted framework and everything. I let that set up, and I took and I sanded it smooth so it was flat, no hills or nothing like that. And then I just took a tip of a nail And you know how you get in the desert, or like I said, the salt flats and everything's dried and parched and it's starting to get cracks in the surface. I just took a nail and just did randomly, scratched it all up. You know, it's you know, maybe about 32nd of an inch deep. You know, little you know, cracks in the plaster, but it doesn't go all the way through, so it's not going to come apart or fall apart. And I did a couple real deep heavy lines, like if you remember the scene in a movie with the B-wings coming up and they were leaving like tracks in the salt. This was a salt flat, and they called it the red salt flats or something, because under the surface it was like it wasn't a red, it was more like a deep, almost like a maroonish red. And I happen to have some pastel chalks that matched it almost to a T. So basically that's what I did with that, with the tip of a nail. And then I just used pastel chalks. These are little pieces of Q-tips on the plastic sticks, and I just cut them off. I cut the top down a little bit, and then I just teased them up to make it look like little explosions. And those were done with the same color of the pastel chalk. First I sprayed them with a red spray paint, let them dry, and it stiffened up the cotton swabs. And then I took and brushed down my pastel chalks, and then just coated everything with my flat. I dug a little couple deeper gouges, like where there were explosions, and it exposed the undersurface of the red salt and everything. And I did the same thing around the feet on the AT-M6s. When you saw the scene in the movie where they were walking through the salt flat, they were leaving tracks behind where they kind of actually were stepping and everything. So I did that on the base of those. And there was one scene that the Millennium Falcon flew past them overhead. You know, it was coming in a real quick flyby attack, and it flew off into the distance. So I wanted to include that to give the kit some interest. Now, the Millennium Falcon is 350 scale. These are supposed to be 550 scale, but in my book they're close enough, and it's kind of like a little bit of perspective. I thought it'd make a little bit interesting scene like that. I tried using an acrylic rod. I broke it 3 times. Acrylic rods that thin are real brittle, so I had to go with a piece of brass tubing. I just painted it white so, you know, it wouldn't stick out like a sore thumb too much. My Bandai, the little 50 Millennium Falcon, I just did a wash. I used the stickers on it. Then there's some light gray panels that don't come on the stickers. I did that with little paint and paintwork on it and stuff. I weathered it up somewhat in the back by the engine exhausts or whatever those are. Did a little bit of the battle damage there. Put a couple little nicks with the tip of a drill bit and stuff, and kind of make it look like you see on the larger models and everything. And then the back, I just painted up the engine with Tester's flat light blue to give it the effect like it was lit and everything like that. Now I do have one that I actually lit. I got to make a base for it. That'll be coming up soon. And I also have to order me some more 9-volt battery connectors. I prefer 12 volts or 9 volts. I'm not really crazy on the 3 volts or the 2 3-volt batteries. I like the 9 volt and the 12 volt depending. If it's only got a couple 2 3, I'll go 4 at the most on a 9-volt battery. Anything over 4, if I start getting up there, you know, I usually don't do too many models with just a half a dozen or so. It's either got a couple 2 3 4 LEDs, or else it's got a whole bunch of LEDs, and then I go over the 12-volt system. But this one's not lit or nothing like this. Now this is the version from the Last Jedi, I believe. Yeah, The Last Jedi. This is the one that comes in the 3-piece set with the 2 X-Wings, the Pose X-Wing and the other one. And that's what these are. These were in the movie, The Last Jedi. Now they do make another version of the Millennium Falcon in 350. That's the one that you get separately. That's the New Hope. And then they also just came out with, not too long ago, they got a 350 scale version of the Empire Strikes Back Millennium Falcon. Then there is differences. They do have either the rectangular or the round radar dishes. And there's differences, either the 5 landing feet or the 3 landing feet. So I've got all 3. The other 2 I'm going to do, I did light 1. And I got 2 more that I'm just going to do static models, and I'm going to make little mini dioramas like flying over the sand dunes or something. Something interesting like that. But they're just fun little kits to do all kind of different dioramas with, and you know, give them some more interest rather than putting on those little plastic bases and stuff. But anyway, this is my my depiction of the one real quick scene in the Battle of Crait, which I did, you know, I did notice there was one scene with the Millennium Falcon. Now, these are too small, where if you actually thought about doing a trench in here like you saw in the movie, and they had the little cannon turrets and stuff, those would be so small you wouldn't even be able to see them. I don't even know if Shapeways does anything like that, you know, in the 3D print stuff like that. I know they make different ships, but in a scale this small you wouldn't even be able to see the detail or nothing on them. So I foregone that, and I thought, okay, this is the scene I'm gonna go after, where the Millennium Falcon was kind of like flying over and taking off in the distance and stuff. So I hope you guys like it. Move back a little bit, there's an overall shot of it and everything. I had a lot of fun doing this one. I like the way it came out and all that. Now, like I said, the pastel chalks, I got a set that I bought at Hobby Lobby years ago. It's got 36 colors in it. It's got several different shades of like oranges and reds that are more like on the rusty side. So those chalks, I use the hell out of those colors for weathering and stuff like this and all. But this was a lot of fun to do. I had fun doing it. I hope you guys like it as much as I do. I thought it came out pretty nice and all that, and give you a little perspective with the Millennium Falcon flying in towards them and stuff. And I had fun with this one, so I've been having fun with all these little kits. It's like I said, it takes me back to my days of model railroading, doing you know, large scale dioramas on the train layout and stuff. But I like working with miniatures, and sometimes just besides gluing plastic and painting up a model and detailing it up and weathering it, sometimes it's fun to actually create little mini scenes depicting something that you remember from a movie or something. So hope you guys enjoyed this one as much as I did. Thanks for watching my videos. Thanks for checking all these little dioramas out. I got a couple more videos I'll be doing yet and all that, but thanks for subscribing, thanks for hitting the like button, thanks for all the great comments you guys been leaving. Again, I do leave my email in the description on every one of my videos, so if anybody's got any questions or wants to know how I do something or wants to learn something about modeling, feel free to get a hold of me. I'll be more than happy to help you out. So till the next time, happy modeling. For those of you in the cold zone, stay warm, and we'll talk to you real soon. Take care. Bye.